Yo, 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 what is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Regal 30 podcast. I'm your host, King Nappy. It has been a long night. We have been trying to get this podcast going, get this stream going, and it is just not wanting to cooperate at all. How is everybody doing today? Looking to get my audio, my video together here. How's everybody doing today? I got me some coffee. Check out that coffee sign. Coffee, walk the dog, nap, and repeat. Wise words. Been adjusting these settings on my little streaming software, and it has not been acting right on me at all. It's been giving me the blues. Kraft macaroni and cheese blues. I hope everybody's doing okay. Hope everybody's doing well. I did a podcast the other day talking to some of the people in the community and just asking them what are some things that they've been doing to keep themselves in a positive and uplifted mood. What are some things they've been doing just to keep themselves in a fun and positive mindset? One of the couples, they responded saying they did like a honey-do list. And so they went and, wrote out like a spring cleaning list pretty much. And this was a list that they had made when they first moved into their home. They moved into their home, they said 12 years prior. And they had so many things that they were meaning to do, things they were meaning to check, follow up on and get started on projects and things like that. And with all this downtown now, they can actually go ahead and get started on it. So I thought that was pretty awesome that they were looking to go ahead and get some spring cleaning done. They were looking at finances, looking at some Dave Ramsey and credit building and get out of debt information to just better their financial situation, which is super smart. One lady, she responded and mentioned a vision board and just kind of resetting some goals and just redirecting that ambition that they've had, in their marriage and seeing what do they want to do next, where they want to go next, what's next on the agenda. So yeah, I thought that was pretty awesome as well. One of the guys, he said he wanted to be home with his wife and his son, more often. He's always at work. He's always kind of bogged down with the work schedule. So being able to be there for them and to be at home, be a little more hands-on with his son, he thought, he felt like that was something that was really uplifting for him. And that's awesome. One lady commented, she came in and said that a certain song that she listens to and it always puts her in a better and a brighter mood. Dope. I love it. Me, what I like to do is just put content out here for you guys. Get out here on social media, get out here with these podcasts, with different comedy skits and things like that. And just interact with you guys, and just being able to interact with you guys, that's what uplifts me. That's what gives me some joy. One young lady, she mentioned yesterday that she spent times with her family and kind of reconnecting with them and talking with everybody. So I thought all of those things were extremely important. I saw a young lady today at the gas station and she seemed extremely upset. She seemed so upset. I think she was more so mad about everyone like just being out and about in the neighborhood. People were at the gas station, at the grocery store, at the pharmacy, people walking around taking their dogs for a walk, and she was just really upset seeing that and was wondering why everyone wasn't really adamant about keeping the traffic down to help combat this coronavirus that's been kind of running rampant. She was truly upset about that. And she was voicing her, her concern at the gas station. We were at Quick Trip, voicing her concern and, her frustration about how she felt about that. And just different people, it's so many mixtures of different things that everyone's feeling. So many different aspects to it that everyone is feeling is a little different from the next person. One person may feel, you know what, this isn't that big of a deal. I've been through worse. I've been through much worse things. They may feel, so they feel like I'm not going to react to this. I'm not going to panic because of this. I'm going to live my life the way I choose. You got a set of people that are reacting to it. They're not necessarily panicking, but they're not slacking at all when it comes to preparation. I was a bit of that in the first one. I feel like there's an agenda behind it that has nothing to do with sickness. I think it's an agenda that the government has. And that's kind of what I want to talk about today in this episode. So a friend of mine posted on Facebook, caption said, "Please read." The article says, "New coronavirus stimulus bill in Congress creates U.S. digital dollar." The new coronavirus stimulus bill creates Congress creates a U.S. digital dollar. As the market continued to drop, the U.S. looks to Congress for an agreement on a massive stimulus package to save the economy from the impacts of the coronavirus pandemic. The newest offer by the House Democrats offered a very forward-looking kind of stimulus: the creation of a digital dollar and the establishment of the digital dollar wallets, and what will send shockwaves through the cryptocurrency and blockchain industry, particularly for those following the central bank digital currencies around the world. One thing I want to do is maybe have a person who's a bit more savvy on cryptocurrency, because I don't use it. I've heard of it and I've tried it so far as going on, Cash App or something like that, or a quick bit buying Bitcoin buying app or something like that. And I've purchased a few at a low price and sold it at a higher price, but nothing that I can say is something that I'm real savvy in. Just something I was trying out and happened to make a few extra pennies with, literally. And but I definitely wouldn't mind having a guest on the show who's a bit more savvy with cryptocurrency and how the U.S. formulating what's called in this article a digital dollar and digital wallet. From my understanding, we pretty much kind of have that. The only difference that I could see them going with this is the currency itself, what it is and what it's valued at. But we have there's so many systems right now. Our current bank, we bank online. We bank online. Our bank account is primarily all online. Everything is based on the internet. There's no physical building that we go to ever. And we've been banking with these people since we got married. Me and my wife got married back in 2015. We've been with the same bank since then. And with addition to a few other banks that we've gotten along with them, we've gotten a bank down the street at a credit union to kind of help us out and get a few extra savings accounts so we can throw some money in and not necessarily think about or see or deal with on a normal basis. But our primary bank has been here and it's been all digital. There's no physical money that we've been having to account for unless we go to an ATM. So I'm guessing with this particular rollout, with trying this particular type of digital currency, there wouldn't be a need for ATMs. There wouldn't be a need for ATMs. It'll probably get rid of the need for checks, paper checks and things like that. It'll be extremely hard to try and, rob someone. Doing so would probably leave much more of a paper trail a digital paper trail than before. I'm trying to think of all the things that this could do so far as the benefits are. How could this benefit us? What are the pros with something like this? But yeah, a digital dollar and a digital wallet. But when I heard this, it made me think of the agenda that I've been feeling that this whole pandemic has. Um, I feel like there's an agenda behind closed doors with this thing. I don't think that this is something that should be taken lightly. I don't think that it's something the um, that the government isn't putting a lot of thought into as to how can this play to our advantage. As helpful as they have seemingly trying to be perceived, I just don't think that the government loves us that much, nor likes us that much. Everything they do for you, if it seems like it's a favor or something positive that they do for you, there's a reason, there's a benefit on their end for it. And it's usually in a very obvious way. I believe something is up. When I heard them mentioning these stimulus packages, I thought that was pretty quick that they mentioned it. I thought the amount that they had mentioned was a little steep. Although there are some families that just literally need it, like just they need it. Um, there's some people who are just down on their luck. They're out of work. You know, a lot of non-essential job or necessary job, settings, they just ended. The restaurants and bar scene struggling right now, especially in St. Louis, because there's no gathering. And most of their gatherings took place at night, and everybody's on this, I believe it's a 5 o'clock curfew, I'm not mistaken. But there's no business right now. Fast food places are still in business, but they're probably barely hanging on. It's probably not as near as much traffic. You look at McDonald's, is usually full of, in the morning, it's probably full of old people with an orange juice and a coffee, reading a newspaper and a bagel that they've been eating on for like 3 weeks. Finish that bagel, it is over with. Gotta love old people, man. Gotta love the senior citizens. But I walked into a McDonald's like at 8 o'clock one day. And I mean, just senior citizens wall to wall. You gotta love them. And they got their coffee. They actually got a newspaper. They got it, they're unfolding it and reading it. And it's just adorable. I haven't read a physical newspaper because I'm spoiled from technology and stuff like that. I don't know how long. And I see guys riding by, I'm getting a little off topic. When I see guys riding by in their car and like flinging a newspaper, like a roll of it, packaged in yards. Like, man, this is so Leave It to Beaver. Look at how Leave It to Beaver this is. But yeah, those are the ones that I'm not seeing. Man, with this new stipulation, there was a restaurant that I always go to called Mama Mia's, and I went down there one morning to get me a coffee, and I usually sit in there, get a little coffee, and I'll run a few errands afterwards. I work on some digital sketches or whatever, set my little laptop up, make a whole little thing out of it. One of those guys. And it was black in there pretty much. Somebody came out and greeted me at the door, was just like, hey, we're not doing dine-in. And I remember reading about it the night before, but I forgot that they were talking about implementing it, and they set it into place the very next morning. I think people were more so like, I'm not going to let this faze me. I'm not going to let this bother me. You guys can panic all you want. I'm not for the panic. I trust God. I'm going to do this. I'm going to pray, fast, and I'm not going to worry about a thing. And I'm on the same boat. But what I'm looking at is just how the government is moving and how that affects us. Because to some degree, it will. Um, there are a lot of things that the government implement, set into place, get rid of that affects us. And there's a lot of things that they do that we utilize. The stimulus check, when it comes, I'm pretty sure we're going to utilize it. You know, there are some family members, including myself, a long time ago, I used to use SNAP benefits. I was out of work, didn't have a job, was barely able to make ends meet at home. I applied for SNAP benefits because I knew it was something that was implemented by, you know, the health administration or the human resources. I think it's human services, human resources or human services. One of those. But I knew it was something that they had implemented that I was able to use. You know, for whatever the reason they implemented it, I knew it was there. It was a benefit that I could use. And I used it for about, I want to say like 5 or 6 months. I didn't have it long, and they gave me a lot. I think I got close to like $400 a month using that. You know what I mean? But there's certain aspects to what they do, it directly affects you, whether it's a benefit or if it hurts you or if it inconveniences you. But a lot of the things that they do and implement can have an effect on your day to day. That doesn't mean that you're panicking, or that doesn't mean that you don't have faith in God or anything like that. It just means that you recognize real life. You recognize what can happen, and you want to prepare for it. You want to be in a right spot, in a right state of mind, so that you can move accurately and quickly and swiftly. You don't want to be panicking when you're going to the store and you got a shopping cart full of meat and tissue, which looks stupid, by the way. You don't want to be one of those people where you're just panicking. You know, I heard an article about, I think it's over in Denmark, and people were buying up sanitizer, of course, and buying up alcohol, these things, disinfectant wipes, which is confusing to me. With the disinfectant wipes, just get you a bottle of all-purpose. Get you a bottle of all-purpose cleaner. Get you a bottle of 409. Get a spray nozzle. There you go. Keep it in the car. You know, keep you with some towels or something like that. Boom. Spray, wipe. Boom. Disinfect the car. Keep one in. Of course, you should have one in the house. Just be cleaning your home. Keep a couple bottles in the house. You don't need to steal all the disinfect. All the Lysol is just gone. I was in Dollar General today, and luckily the cashier found one, but it was like a little small thing of hand sanitizer. I wish I had it with me. It was a Dippin' Dots. It's a Dippin' Dots scented hand sanitizer she gave me. It's probably about this small. For those of you who can't even see me when I say this small, that's because I'm on YouTube as well. If you are not following us and subscribe to us on YouTube, stop playing around with yourself. Pause. Stop screwing around with life. Head over to YouTube. Find our channel, NappsandNurture, NappsandNurture, and subscribe. But she gave me the little thing of hand sanitizer, and I thought that was cool. It was cheap too. It was probably like 50 cents or something like that. It was super cheap because I bought these. It was a 2-pack, and that was $1. And altogether, these 2 cups and the hand sanitizer was like $1.39. It was stupid cheap. I'm gonna keep the bottle. I don't like the case because it's one of those little silicone cases that you can put on your keychain. The case itself is fine, but it got Dippin' Dots like in huge letters on the front. So I was gonna use all the Dippin' Dot sanitizer until it was gone, just replace it with regular or make my own. That was originally what I went in the store for, was to get the aloe vera gel, and I got alcohol here, and I got some essential oils here. I was gonna use this here. It's if my camera can catch it, I think it can. I hate that. How do you do the focus thing? I'm not good at this. Is that it? Does that work? I know you don't drink. You can kind of see it a little bit. Oh, look at that. Texas cedarwood. I was gonna use my Texas cedarwood essential oil and kind Kind of give it a little scent, little manly scent there. Give it a little manly scent. A little manly scent on that right there. But yeah, freaking Dippin' Dots, huge on the front of the case. So, you know, real tough man stuff. Real tough man stuff. Dippin' Dots. But yeah, man, a digital dollar and digital wallet. And it just kind of makes me feel like we're going to be heading into this is for everybody era in life. This applies for everybody era. This is for you. This is for you. This is for you. I feel like we're going to get rid of all the boundaries that we have set in place. We're going to get rid of this different stipulations from one state to the next. We're going to get rid of, oh, this state has this set of laws. This state has that set of laws. This nation has its own set of laws and bylaws and what's legal and what isn't. I feel like we're going to just get rid of all of that. One of the reasons why I think that, you ever noticed, to all the parents out there, have you, all the parents, have you ever went through your house and cleaned your entire home? Shout out to the couple that's going to do the honey-do list, getting that cleaning done. You ever went through and cleaned your entire home, top to bottom? It's spick and span, it's nice and neat. The towels are organized, the dishes are cleaned and neatly stacked and put away. The floors are vacuumed, couches are nice, pillows are fluffed, everything is nice and clean. You got those, for the people who may have the clinical or mild forms of the OCD, and you vacuum, you got those nice cool vacuum lines in the carpet, and everything is just neat. You've Lysol'd, you've 409'd and Fabuloso'd yourself to half to death. The laundry is done. All the clothes are folded and nice and neat. The house just looks great. Then the kids come home or wake up or whatever. They arrive and you say, all right, maggots, you're not going to mess up this house. These are the new rules. From now on, you're going to set your shoes over here. When you come into the kitchen, you no longer grab that plate there. You're going to grab it from over here. When you're done eating, you take your plate, you wash it off, you clean it off, place it into the dish rack. Laundry, when you take your clothes off and all that, you're going to set it neatly in this pile over here. You have this whole new order of operations in hope to keep the house in this state ongoingly. That is a word I just made up, I believe, because I don't know if ongoingly is a thing. But you want your house to stay in that state. You put all that work into making this house, getting this house in an A1 state. You want to keep it that way. So when all the kids and the vagabonds come back home from school or come in from outside or wake up from their slumber, you got some new rules for them. Hey, bucko, there's a new sheriff in town. Here's the rules. You can't walk in the house. Yeah, that's right. You float from now on. You need to go to the bathroom, float. Don't walk. I don't want your feet stepping on the carpet, on the hardwood. You need to get in the shower, float. You got all new rules for everybody. And that's what makes me think that we're heading in that direction. It's so much turmoil and so much dismay and disarray. There's so much calamity and tribulation. There's so much going on right now. It's almost like the world is crying for help. Everything from the misuse of law and robberies and murders and people killing each other, mothers harming children, fathers harming their children, priests being immoral with kids and fires and natural disasters and earthquakes. Now we got this corona thing, and it's just swept the globe from what the media and the government is narrating. And that's what caught my attention, because the media always do and say things to kind of get a rile out of people sometimes. But it's different when you got the government that's narrating a little bit more than what the media is. When you get the government in the forefront and Congress and all these political officials and stuff like that, and they're just as in the forefront narrating as much as the media is, that's when you got a different story. When you start talking National Guard and you getting them involved in this narrative, it's different now. You know what I mean? Because their actions affect our daily lives. It's different once they start doing a whole bunch of different things, and they're moving differently, and they're moving in a peculiar manner. It affects our daily lives. And I feel like the world is kind of just in an uproar. You got protests going on in certain countries. You got economies failing in certain countries. Some have failed. You have so much injustice. You have division amongst races that's been going on for centuries. Still got division in America with black and white. That's still going on. It's old and played out and out of style as that is. It is the corduroy of issues that we have in America. It is so played out, but this is still a forefront narrated thing that's happening. The world is crying out. And so I believe you're going to see a huge sweep. You're going to see a huge cleanup take place from the elites, from the government officials, from political officials, and the higher offices, and higher people who hold the higher powers and the high places and all that. You're going to see them come through and clean up. Stack up the dishes real nice. They're going to do the laundry. They're going to vacuum the floors, get those nice clean vacuum lines. That economy is you're going to see them come through and do a sweep. This is what I believe. And they're going to get done with everything. It's going to be nice and sparkly. And they're going to say, all right, here come the Americans coming back to work. Here come the people getting back into the housing market. People getting back into wanting to consume. Coming back into the grocery stores. Looking to buy some vehicles. Maybe some property. Maybe get some guns. Whatever suits their fancy. Getting back into the sports world. You see athletes getting back on the field, getting back on the court. Heading back to the arenas, the stadiums, the domes. And you're going to hear the government officials and the higher ups say, all right, you see this house is clean. These are the new rules. From now on, this is what you need to do in order to enjoy these privileges. That's what I think is going to happen. I could be way off. If I am, share your thoughts. Tell me what you think. Follow us on YouTube at NappsandNurture. We're available on podcast platforms from Breaker, Google Podcasts, Anchor FM. We're available on Apple Podcasts, Pocket Casts, Radio Public, Spotify. Look us up at the Regal 30 Podcast. I'm the host, King Nappy. And I will catch you guys later. This has been the Regal 30. Peace.